I think before it was more about survival. Everything was just about, there's a lot of there's a lot of warring between the different tribes and whatnot. And I think that has loaded the characters with dealing with all of their past. And each character is coming into season 6 wrestling with themselves internally and in some ways with each other. There's a lot of history that they've gone through. So negotiating one another on a new planet is a setup for a smooth ride.
Yeah, I agree with what you were saying about it has previously been about survival on our show, and it still in many ways is. But it's also this season about that fresh start that Monty, sacrificed his life, and Harper sacrificed their lives to give us. And I think it's the beautiful thing about it, and the tragic thing about it is this season's all about watching how human nature can screw up a second chance very quickly. And we all embody different ways in which you can either make the most of that second chance, fresh start, or screw it up. I know I'll probably screw it up. If we know anything about Murphy. I don't know if it's impossible, but we certainly seem to bring a lot of death and war wherever we seem to go. How many societies have we
We've destroyed the earth twice.
Yeah, I mean, mountain men, they had their thing going on, murdered them.
Yeah.
Grounders, who knows what happened to them? You let me know.
I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what we do with this new society, this new peaceful society. For me personally, for seasons, I've wanted to kind of explore the question that I think is the only question that really matters with my character, Murphy, is that how far will he actually go to survive? How far is he willing to push his morals? And I fully believe that we take a real hard look at that this season, and I was very grateful to be able to explore that.
Yeah. That was awesome. With Echo, I mean, it's all, for her, I think it's all about self-forgiveness. It's when you have done something so horribly and you've never really had a home, how you try to relate to people and not constantly be living in a place where you just feel so affected by everything that you've done. I think that a lot of it has to do with self-forgiveness. I think when she looks at the new society too, it reminds her a lot of Asgida. So, there's a lot of similarities, when you blindly follow a leader and you do anything that they say, and I think that scares her and it sends her to a dark place, but she's growing and she's changing, and but she's always cautious and always curious, and at heart she's a fighter. She's always worked for somebody else, or worked for, but she's been best as the right hand to somebody, so I'd love to see her take her power in its fullest form and see what happens.
It's not about how far he's evolved, it's kind of looking at if he's evolved at all. Which is what I love, is kind of watching him be put into a very tough situation and really have to ask the question, like, have you really redeemed yourself for what you've done? Or in these situations, are you going to continue to make the decisions that you've previously made? So that was the fun for me, is not how far he's evolved, is really looking at if he's evolved at all.
I mean, I think it's very similar for Echo, because even like in season 5,
bad guys.
just a couple of people up to no good.
Yeah.
But like right away, I remember I was like, let's kill Shaw, and Raven was like, no. And then
Kill
Echo
him.
was like, why? It's the easiest thing. It will get us where we want to go.
A to B.
Yeah.
Shaw dead. Yeah.
And so she's still like learning that no, it's not just about, the ends justifying the means. There are, those shades of gray that you have to walk through and you have to learn, but she hasn't quite fully learned them all yet. I always, when I'm reading a script, is I'll look at opposites. You look at like what's on the page, and then I'll see if there's a way that I can set up myself to play the opposite of what the character is going through, and see even if that brings me somewhere in the middle that's interesting. I mean, I spend so much time thinking and working on the scripts and how she would react when I'm working with Echo, and you want to surprise yourself too, and you want to make it interesting and exciting, but The hardest thing I would say is not talking about the show
Sure.
before it's aired and everything that happens in terms of our relationships with the fan base and the work and stuff like that. But
Yeah. I don't know if you mentioned the word pressure. I don't know if I've ever felt the pressure to make them feel one way or the other. I'm always very curious to see how they're going to react to what we're doing, and that's part of the fun of it. And like you said, that's kind of the beauty of our show is somehow we've kind of accrued this passionate fan base. And without them, obviously, we wouldn't be sitting here today in Madrid. So I'm pretty happy.
yes.
I would like to see that somehow we kept civilization going.
I would love to see more forests and animals.
Oh, that would be great, yeah.
And pandas. And
She saves pandas. That's a good one. More forests. I'd like to also see more forests. More oxygen.
More
I'd like
oxygen.
to see photosynthesis running at a very high rate.
Yes, and more fish.
I'd take or leave fish.
More ocean life. You don't like marine life? Come on.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Orca whales?
Oh, they're cute.
Okay.